Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Tom. Tom is from England in the UK. So let's see what Tom has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Tom, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, don't worry, mate. No, good. Good to meet you.
So tell me, how was your day today?
Oh, it was all right. Yeah, I did I did a bit of writing, and yeah, I've got a Friday night to myself, so I will be spending it well, relaxing, doing nothing. So, yeah, busy week. How about yourself?
It was good, yeah, it's a great day today. I think, it's Friday now. It feels a good feeling when you feel like it's
Yeah,
Friday.
that's it. That's it. It's good.
So tell me where you're from, Tom.
I'm from Yorkshire in England, so lived in North Yorkshire for most of my life. Moved to West Yorkshire for university, and I've lived there ever since. So coming up about 7 or 8 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And know your family, they live there as well or not?
no, so my family live in North Yorkshire. So I've got no family over in West Yorkshire. I just settled here after uni, and then kind of just fell in love with it really, and that's where I fell into um, doing my kind of writing and my art and how that all came about, and yeah, here we are.
How far are you from London?
From London, it's roughly, I think it's about 4.5 hours drive, um, 2.5 hours on the train. It's pretty far. I get down there maybe once a year or so.
I see.
Nice to visit, but I personally don't think I could live there. Are you from London?
Yes, I live in
Yeah,
London.
yeah.
In London for the last 19 years, I think. It's been a
Oh,
long time.
nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been living here for a
Oh,
lot of years.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So as you already touched about your career as an artist, and when I was checking your profile, it says they're natural history artist. So
That's it.
walk me through a little bit about your journey so far.
Absolutely, yeah. So, natural history artist is kind of a catch-all term for a few different things that I do. So, primarily, I am a paleo artist, which is bringing extinct animals back to life through art to show people what they really look like and how uh, what the closest representations of them that we know of we can put together in a painting or a picture and show them to the general public, to educate and to just to kind of for my own personal enjoyment. Really, it's an interest that I've had since I was a really small kid. So it's nice to be able to kind of have the means of putting paintings out there, and the fact that people seem to be enjoying them is nice. So that's one half of it. On the other hand, I am a what you call a speculative evolution artist. So that is looking at today's animals and today's plants and today's environments, and predicting how they might look in different situations. So the branch of it that I do is what would be the case if humans went extinct, and as a result of that, we had animals that were free to go off into all these different new forms, um, based on the environments that they might live in when humans weren't there anymore.
Oh,
But there's some other people. I mean, there's some big names. A few of my biggest inspirations as well. That they kind of work in alien biology. So that's kind of discussing what life on another planet might look like, or what you call seed world projects, which are like, if you were to take animals from Earth and put them onto a different planet, how might they adapt and evolve and
oh,
do all those different things. And it's a really interesting part of science which you don't really see talked about too much. I mean, there was a few documentaries in the early 2000s and
oh.
a few recent ones, but yeah, it's a pretty niche area of art. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do living creatures as well. I do in my spare time. I sometimes take photos.
Mhm.
So I've used my own photos as references to just draw extant living animals as well, and that's been fun.
Wow.
But I think the real kind of wonder and the real interest for me is what was life like before we came along, and what might it be like when we're long gone. So yeah.
My God, amazing. So fascinating, the job you do, Tom. I think it's great to be involved, in this field where you can, I'm sure you learn something, everything, something new every day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm still learning. I mean, I'm not by any means the best. It's something that I enjoy doing. But yeah, you do learn constantly. It's more of a, there's a good community of people on Instagram who will help you out if there's something that you've got wrong, or if there's something that you might have missed in a painting, or if you've missed in a drawing, then they'll be friendly usually to correct you and help you out. And on the other hand as well, I'm a writer, so the bulk of my kind of career really comes from scripting articles for YouTube channels about prehistoric life and ancient humans. So yeah, that's another big passion of mine is writing. I did a journalism degree, and then after doing a few jobs that I wasn't really a massive fan of, I ended up where I am today, which is happy doing stuff I like. It's great. It's good. Yeah.
Amazing. I can see you describing, I can see the passion as well.
Yeah. I try to. Yeah.
So during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and also about your life overall, okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or something that not many people know about you.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I was a kid, I really told a few people about this outside of family, but I used to practice falconry, so taking birds of prey, looking after birds of prey, and taking them out and flying them and feeding them, and so yeah, I was never it was never like paid work. It was more of a hobby on weekends, but I used to look after a barn owl and a tawny owl and a Harris hawk. So they were yeah, cool animals to work with. I've
Wow.
but it's been a few points in my life where I wish that I'd gone into that line of work, looking after animals and that kind of thing. But yeah, it kind of, I think that formed a good basis of the kind of work I do today, and where a lot of my inspiration and interest came from was working with animals as a kid. So yeah.
Amazing, very good. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, please. Yeah, let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend, full of random fun questions. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a song for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right, first question for you is, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
That's a good question. I think from a painting and art standpoint, I'd have to say C.M. Kozeman, he is a scientific artist, painter, writer. So he published a book in the early 2000s, I think it was, called All Tomorrows, which explored the possibility of humans evolving into different shapes and forms out in the galaxy in the distant future. Before I became a speculative evolution artist, I would read his works a lot. I'm a huge fan of his work, and his paintings. If you're not familiar with them, he does a lot of really kind of like ethereal, dreamlike, almost like kind of cave painting style drawings when he's putting together his work. And yeah, he's always been a massive inspiration of mine in the work I do today. Alongside, sorry,
carry on.
So alongside C.M. Kozeman, Wayne Barlow, another artist. He's more on the sci-fi side. He's done projects that concern life on alien planets and what like kind of like it's quite morbid, but speculative depictions of what hell might look like in the real world. And that's, yeah, again, a big interest of mine is you know, I'm a big horror fan, and seeing those kinds of things come together is really impressive and really cool. So that's, yeah.
Do you believe that there are some, you know, aliens or another creatures in other planets?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think it's very likely that we're not alone, and I wouldn't class myself as an alien conspiracy theorist. You know, I don't walk around and see UFOs and that kind of thing. But I do love the idea that out there somewhere is something that is different to us and has been there for millions of years alongside us while we've been evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of why I find this field of art and science so interesting, is because it kind of allows us to consider the possibility of what that kind of animal or that kind of organism might look like, which is something that, as I say, it's not something that you see a lot of in art. So yeah, I would say that 100% there is. Well, you can never be 100% certain, but I think that to say with confidence that there are things out there would be amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, there's so many, there's so many documentaries that you can see. There are some things that I cannot explain, out there.
Yeah,
There's all
yeah,
finds, and it's fascinating to see that, nowadays with technology, you still cannot understand or you cannot explain why those, things happening. And maybe, yeah, I agree,
yeah.
might be something out there that's maybe one day we're gonna somehow understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a dream come true to see that happen in my lifetime, but
Amazing.
whether or not we will, you never know.
Next question. Okay, oh, next question is, what are 3 fun facts about yourself?
3 fun facts about myself. So I appeared on The Chase, you know, the UK game show, The Chase.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was on that. We didn't win, but we
Oh
did.
my God.
But we did all right. I was the only one that got knocked out, but it was yeah, it was good. It was good.
Wow.
Second fun fact, I would say I mean, it's kind of pretty common knowledge for people that know me, but I am a kind of an avid bird watcher. So I'll spend a lot of time wandering around nature reserves, and I'll take the camera out occasionally. A lot of the time, it's just me and the binoculars and just seeing what I can see. But yeah, over the years, I've seen some pretty interesting things. There's a huge wetland nature reserve not too far away from where I'm based, and we've seen bitterns, stilts, kingfishers, all the kind of the birds that people really want to see when they go out. It's that's cool. And then the third one, I don't know what I'd say for that, to be honest. I used to, I used to be an interviewer myself. I used to, I did my degree in journalism. So initially, when I was at university, I thought I wanted to be a music journalist. So I would, I set up my own blog and my own website, and took to kind of just reaching out to artists that I was a fan of, and
Wow.
tried to get some interviews with them. A few of them responded, a lot of them didn't, but it was yeah, it was good. It was fun, and yeah, I've got a lot of respect for people that do interviews, because it's really interesting work.
You put me in the spot right now, and I'm going to feel nervous. I'm talking to a journalist just in front of me right now. Next question. Right, so before the next question, what's the biggest joy of being an artist? Yeah, what do you like the most about it? What's the biggest, when you wake up, like, my God, that's the job I'm going to do. And also, of course, there's always a flip side. What's the most challenging part?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the answer to both of those questions could be people's response to it. On the one hand, if you publish something that you are proud of and people like it, that is heartwarming, and it's really, really satisfying to see that you've created something and you've put something out in the world and people want to see it and people are enjoying seeing it. On the flip side, you know, there are always going to be people who don't like it. There are always going to be people who have a negative opinion about it and want to voice that opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you know, not that it ever has, but just I think, you know, if it crosses the border between friendly and constructive and then just hateful, that's when you know you kind of you find it challenging. But in the main, people seem to like it, and as long as people like it, I'll keep doing it. So yeah.
How often do you paint every day, or just a certain time of the day when you're inspired?
I try to paint I try to get something out once a week. I don't always do it. I go through, I think like all artists, I go through peaks and troughs of kind of wanting to make things and not having the energy or the time to do things. When I have the energy to do it, I tend to see myself on a bit of a roller coaster of just going straight and making as much stuff as I can. And that's, I think my account's kind of seen a bit of a recent boost to the people who are coming to it. I think as a result of the most recent wave of being inspired by things. And I am still working on things. I've not posted in a week or so, but there are things that are being worked on in the background that will be out soon. And I am thinking of opening commissions soon as well for the first time. So hopefully, if anybody out there wants to buy my art, then
absolutely,
yeah, at Tom McGlynn Art on Instagram, and get yourself a piece.
Amazing, great. Next question is: when was the last time that you cried and why?
The last time that I cried, I was at the cinema actually. It was I was recently me and my girlfriend went to go and see a film called All of Us Strangers, which is have you heard of it? Are you familiar?
Yes, I have, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's a deeply emotional film. It's yeah, I mean, I won't spoil anything for the people who haven't seen it, but it's amazing, and it made me weep quite a lot in the cinema seat. So it was, yeah, films get to me a lot. If I can relate to them, they get to me, and I think that was the subject matter tackled a few things which have kind of bothered me in the past. So it was good it was cathartic, and it was entertaining, and it was one of the best films I saw that came out last year. So yeah.
Do you cry easily?
No, I don't think I do. I used to. I used to be a pretty timid person, I think, and I think since meeting my partner and meeting the kind of the set of friends that I've surrounded myself with at the minute, all that's kind of started to fade away. So it's good. I mean, I've had my fair share of mental health issues in the past. I think like a lot of people, but yeah, it doesn't. Things like that don't get to me as much as they used to, and I think it can only be a good thing. I mean, I'm in a really good place at the minute, so yeah.
Let's see. Next question, ready? Let's do it. Next one. Hey, Tom from England. Next question is: what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. I mean, I think as long as you what will they know about each other? That's a good question. I think as much as they possibly can. I would never marry somebody unless I was fully certain that I knew this person very well and would want to spend my life with them. So, like me and my partner, for example, we will. I think we know pretty much everything there is to know about each other. We've not really. Like, there's nothing that we say to each other now, which is kind of, that's a surprise. We've been together about 5 years, and I think in that time, we've really gotten to know each other quite well, and that happened really quick in the first kind of couple of years or so. So I think, I don't know if there's any kind of set, like, border that you need, like a threshold that you need to meet to be able to marry somebody. But I think as long as you can say for certain that you're doing the right thing, then that's all that matters.
Do you believe that there are different kinds of love?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I love a lot of people in my life, and I love them all in different ways. And yeah, I mean, obviously my partner, she'll always be at the kind of the top of the register, really. And then, but no, I love her no more or no less than I love my family. But it's a different kind of love. So,
Sure.
and yeah, my closest friends, they're some of the best people I've met in my entire life, and it's good to it's good to have them around. But it's all different. You don't love anyone the same way. It varies.
Absolutely. I think you can love, as you said, your people from your family, your partner, your dogs, or your pets. So I think it's all of them. It comes from a good place, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Next one. Let's do it. Next question for you is, right, if you could have a superpower, what that would be?
That's a good question as well. I think the ability to just go anywhere you want, just teleportation. We'll go with that. One of my big dreams is to see the world. I would love to go to South America, North America, Southeast Asia. They're the three big ones, I think. Looking at the wildlife, specifically the bird life, and just aiming to see as much of the world's kind of wonders as I can before my life is over. And that's kind of something that I've only really kind of started to embrace in recent years. We've been going on a lot more trips away, but I think just to have the ability to just snap your fingers and be on the other side of the world, that would be very convenient.
And if you could teleport yourself somewhere right now, right this moment, where would you go right now?
I wouldn't mind Australia. I've been doing a lot of reading and writing and kind of just general, just reading around the kind of the prehistoric wildlife of Australia. So to be able to see the fossils and to kind of see the living wildlife firsthand. I've never been, and it's kind of high on the list for me and my partner. So that would be a nice thing nice place to go, I think.
Great. 3 questions left. Let's do it. But before the next question, you talk about your passion about birds. Where did this come from? What's this passion with connection with the birds? When did it started, and why?
Yeah,
why
absolutely. So I think it can pretty much all be traced back to my granddad. So I'm still very, very close to all my grandparents. But my granddad on my mum's side in particular, he's the biggest influence, I think, on my interests in my life. Seeing him on kind of weekends when I was a kid, and him taking me out to nature reserves and looking at kind of nature books, and kind of him teaching me what he knew and kind of his interests, was where that came from, I think. So yeah, whenever we see him, we usually end up with a David Attenborough documentary on still. So that kind of is carried over and into my adult life. But I think it was a side of my life that I, throughout university and throughout doing my exams at school, I kind of fell out of touch with it a little bit, and I didn't spend as much time appreciating the natural world as I do now. So it kind of feels now that, even though I'm still only pretty young, I feel like I'm making up for lost time with the natural world. So I'm every chance that I get, I'm out in nature reserves. I'm going to the coast. I'm going to the woods down the other side of the city, and it's it feels really good. It's just a calming place to be, and I draw a lot of inspiration from it in my art as well. So if I've seen a certain animal in the wild, I usually want to write about that animal or paint that animal, and it's good to it's just good to get out as much as you can, really. And I think I can trace it all back to my granddad.
It's interesting you saying that, because I'm originally from Brazil. When growing up back in Brazil, you have no idea with the animals, the wild animals, and also the birds as well. I've seen so many birds growing up, like different birds that have no idea. It's just fascinating to be in touch with those animals, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next question is, what does money mean to you?
Money means very little to me. I think, I mean, it's nice to have it. I won't deny that it's nice to have it, but I've seen so many people in my life just corrupted by money. It's at the end of the day, we need it. We live in a world where it's a necessity, but it goes to people's heads. I used to work in, so after I graduated from university, I worked in a sales job in an office environment, and it was one of the single worst things I've ever done for my mental health. I think it was not a nice place to be, and just the obsession that people had with making money and letting acquisition of money affect the way they treat people was just, I don't know, it's just immoral. It was really unpleasant to see. And then I've worked in the public sector since then, and even seeing people just kind of try and step over people to get to the higher positions where they can get more money is just unpleasant to see. It's really uncomfortable. And I, at the end of the day, as I say, we do need money. It's a necessity, unfortunately, but it's for me, as long as I've got enough to pay the bills, as long as I've got enough to feed myself and occasionally do the things that I enjoy doing, then that makes me happy, and that's fine by me. I think you should always prioritize your own happiness over money if you can afford to. And I think as long as you're in a position in life where you can afford to have the things you want, but you're happy, I'd say never prioritize the money over the happiness, because at the end of the day, it's not important. It's not what you're going to be remembered for.
And do you believe that money can bring happiness?
To an extent, I think in the world we live in, yeah. Obviously, we kind of live in a world that is very much governed by money, and the way that the world works is it's very money orientated. But I think, I mean, everybody needs a certain amount of money in order to live a comfortable life. So I'd say to that degree, yeah, it can bring happiness. And obviously, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I wouldn't be unhappy, but I don't feel like I need to. It's not like something that I'm desperate for. I'm happy the way I am. It's
amazing. Yeah, I think that happiness, it cannot be connected with money. It can bring some comfort, can bring some opportunities or adventures, but it's not just about that. It's about you connect with yourself without money or anything.
Absolutely, there's plenty of nice things you can do without money.
Sure.
I think just as long as you've got enough to keep yourself going, then that's fine by me. Yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be remembered as an approachable person, somebody who was kind, somebody who was understanding, easy to talk to. I just try and give, I just try and give people the best version of myself, and it's, I feel like, it's a pretty easy thing to do. I think, being nice to people, and I've thought a lot of times throughout my life that people aren't nice enough. So I think to just be remembered as somebody who was nice and to somebody who was down to earth and who understood things and helped people, then that's the bare minimum. It will be nice to be remembered as, you know, somebody who was good with my writing and good with art, and somebody who was funny and you know, that kind of thing. But I think as long as the big thing for me is just nice. If people thought I was nice, then that's nice. So yeah.
And what's the biggest joy, or what's the biggest part of being yourself, in your opinion? What do you like the most about being you?
This might come across as a bit pretentious, but I like the things that I've learned over the years. I like
Mm-hmm.
the things I know about the world and specifically the natural world, but just the way the world works in general as well. I feel like I've met a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of things, and I know I'm only young, and it's not in any way comparable to a lot of people out there, but I think the way that I'm really happy with the way my mind works these days, and I think it's just kind of, yeah, I've got to a point where I'm a lot more confident than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, just kind of knowing what I know and being able to, like, the people in my life as well, my partner, my family, my closest friends. It's the best it's ever been. So there we go. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. I think it's great to feel this way. You're living your
Mm.
best life. You know yourself, you know who you are, you know your values. Why not? You're in
Yeah,
the best.
I'm just happy. I'm happy to be here. And I think just to try and, yeah, to try and help people out and make other people happy, you know, that's a good thing to do. So if everybody just tries to be nice to people, then the world will be a better place.
Amazing. Last question, ready? Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, if you could choose a piece of art that you created, that you painted, if you could choose just one for any reason, which one that would be and why?
That's a good question as well. I keep saying that a lot, but yeah, some good questions. So, how do I answer that? I would probably, yeah. So it's just a recent one actually. I mean, I'm pretty proud of. Um, so I basically designed a speculative future creature, which was part of the little project that I've got going on my Instagram page at the minute. Which was, so the big bit background to the project. So basically, it centers around a world where humans have gone extinct. There's no more humans anywhere on Earth, and as a result of that, the result in the world that's left is just left to the animals. And the project at the minute just focuses entirely on the British Isles.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the pieces that I did that I was particularly proud of was my future vision for the green woodpecker, which is a little forest bird we have in the UK. So picturing them as kind of as the forests kind of grow more sparse and they don't rely on the trees anymore, to see them wander around in the open grasslands of the UK, and to kind of see them take on the form of what we would consider to be basically a bird version of an anteater or an aardvark, which is up on my Instagram account now. But I think I got some. I think out of the ones I've designed so far and the ones I put up there so far, that I think is probably the most plausible, and could, you know, if the conditions were right, something like that could evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just the fact that I'd created that from my head, and it kind of came to life in the way that I've kind of visioned it at the start.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't consider myself somebody who's particularly good at drawing environments or backgrounds. And I think the work on that, the environment in that piece was particularly ended up looking good in the end. So yeah, I mean that was a very off the top of my head answer. There might be another one, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, for now, that's what I'll say.
Good. Last question is: tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you and your child at school.
Child at school. I've got a few, but they're probably going to paint me in a really bad light. So, I was. Yeah, it's a good story. I'll tell this story. So I was. Well, how old would I have been? I was doing my GCSEs. I'll have been like 10, year 10. Me and a close friend of mine were in an art class, and there was a kind of a shelf of like discarded art pieces that I think they were going to go in the bin anyway, on the back. So we took one as a prank. It was like a cardboard box with a calculator attached to it with some like red and black wires. So it was meant to look like a bomb.
Oh my God.
Foolishly, I put the bomb in my friend's backpack. He then took it out into the car park and found it in his bag, chucked it away. Just so happened that it landed under a car. So the next day I went into school. I was sat in a history class, and the teacher she brought it up, and she said something that a fake bomb had been found under the caretaker's car, and they had to call the police in and nearly evacuate the area.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so next thing's next. I've got my mum panicking down the phone at me. I've got the police are at the door. And it's just
really.
Yeah, they said they I mean, nothing happened in the end, and they just kind of got rid of it and put it up to just teenage stupidity, I think. But yeah, that was.
Oh my God!
I mean, we laughed in the end. We laughed in hindsight. It wasn't funny at the time. Yeah.
What a moment! Oh my God!
Don't play with cardboard bombs. I guess that's the moral of the story.
Oh my God! My goodness! I can see your parents. My goodness, so worried and panicking about the situation.
Oh, it wasn't nice. It wasn't. I mean, in the end, we were all laughing. We were all, it was. But having two policemen show up at the door.
It doesn't happen every day.
Well, yeah, it only happened once. It didn't happen again. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, don't play with cardboard pieces of art.
Amazing.
Life advice.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with funny.
Nothing.
Fear.
Red.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Earth.
One word for love.
Pure.
I like that. Religion.
Dated. I don't want to. Yeah.
Okay. Sex.
Life.
Politics.
Not in a creepy way, but
that's okay. What comes to your mind? Politics.
Politics. Oh, that's good. I can't actually think of anything that's worth saying. Complex.
Okay. Friendship.
Happiness.
Desire.
Love.
Regret.
Past.
Success.
Future.
One word for wish.
Night.
Happiness.
Eternal.
One word for England.
Gone.
One word for journalist.
Important.
One word for paleo writer.
Passion.
Actually, one word for aliens.
Real.
Yeah. One word for one word for natural history artist.
Joy.
And the last one now, science. One word.
Necessary.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Tom in one positive word and one negative word only. What she would say?
I like to think she'd say that I'm pleasant. This is usually my go-to nice word. Yeah, we'll go with pleasant. It's kind of all-encompassing. It says a lot, I think, if somebody's pleasant. One negative word, I think, critical. I think I can be too critical of things, and yeah, she'd probably say opinionated. That might be it's, the same thing, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Let's play now, Tom, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Tom, you can ask me a question now.
Yeah. So if I'm not sure how much you know about the subject, but if you could see one extinct animal brought back to life in the flesh, anything, what would you pick?
Okay, I'm gonna go based on your art, because when I was checking your art before, I was having a look and I was fascinated about it. I think I would pick any dinosaur, any of them. I think actually I went 2 weekends ago. I went to Natural History Museum. My friend's from Portugal. She's a geologist and she wants to check it out.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been there a long time ago, and it was nice to go there again and to have a look. You know what I mean? It was amazing experience. We spent like 4 hours there just checking out things. And there was some dinosaurs, and I was like, I was just thinking myself, my goodness, how would be the feeling to be closer to them for a moment, just to understand, to feel it, those powerful creatures, like so big and massive. So I think any of them, I think I'd be, if I could bring to life for a moment, just to admire, just to see, their lives, just to have a taste. I think would be something very fascinating. And
absolutely.
And I felt even more after the visit to the museum, because because it was such a, I was literally just walking around and looking, some pictures, and some of them I just was like wondering how was, if you had the opportunity to just to see them alive for a moment, just to see, I think would be a great pleasure for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I'll probably say that myself, to be honest. Like, it might be a kind of specific species that I'd want to see the most.
And
just to know.
And I'll get you by my side to give me like a class to explain me everything about it, for sure. So did you enjoy the interview?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's good to meet you. Good to.
Thanks so much for taking the time. And I'll tell you something, actually, I was fascinated about your passion about animals, about the earth, about, birds as well. I think it's great to connect with someone, and you're expressing your passion about it, and also your knowledge as well. I think it's amazing. I think people appreciate, to leave a little bit of some information about it, and it's great. Thanks so much for sharing that. And before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah, I mean, I just make the most of the world while it's still in a relatively good shape, because it's not going to be here forever, by the way we're going, and you won't be there forever either. So just see it while it's here. That, and don't play with cardboard boxes, and you'll be all right.
Just one other question for you, Tom. Do you think nowadays people, they are more educated and understanding about, how to look after, the earth? Do you think people, they are more aware of it overall?
I think the average person, definitely, like just the average person on the street. I think it's hard to escape the idea that the world is not being looked after. However, all the while, the big oil companies and the governments will let the world become polluted and destroyed, and species will go extinct. And we can't logistically start to fix the problem properly unless the people at the top, so to speak, take notice. So yeah, an end to pollution caused by big oil and coal corporations would be a world that would be pleasant to live in.
I see. The mess out there. Thanks for sharing that as well. Amazing. Appreciate. Okay. Thanks so much. Regards to your girlfriend, and you keep in touch. Okay.
Yeah. No worries with them. Yeah. Thank you very much, and
take care.
Look after yourself. Cheers.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.